Hi, I'm Zoe from Zoë and Her Stitches. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to keep trying to remember. I don't know if I did it in my my last video. The dress I wore in my January makes video was a Penelope dress by Emporia Patterns, and this if you've seen my first video will probably recognise it, and this is only maybe the third time I've actually worn it. It is my Marley dress by Tilly and the Buttons. Yeah, I thought I'd give her a road trip, and I don't know if you can see, but I've paired her with burgundy tights, and actually I'm not hating it. A bit of Nora Batty ankles, so let's pull those up. I thought I would talk about because I had a really good response to my first video and kind of like my openness, and people seemed to like that I was, you know, very open and said that things went wrong and like my real learning journey. I thought I'd carry on with that and talk about 5 patterns that I tried that didn't work, but 5 patterns that I tried and did work. This is purely my opinion and things that I have learned, and it's just to kind of help you. But yeah, it's all my opinion, and I'm not intending to be negative in any way, shape or form, because the pattern companies I'm going to talk about, majority of them I still use their patterns and I love them very, very much. But yeah, it just goes to show that not everything is going to work out for you, and I think that's something we should talk about a lot more. So the first pattern that I tried that didn't work out was the by hand London Hannah dress. Now this is a wrap dress, and I was drawn to it because I was on the hunt for a wrap dress and I loved the voluminous sleeves. There was lots of positives for me, and when I saw people that were wearing it, everyone looked amazing, and it was just like one of those dresses that everyone was talking about at the time. So I thought, I'm going to jump on this bandwagon. I actually made 2 of these in the end. What I didn't like about it was the coverage is fantastic. So obviously being a wrap dress, so you've got like the inside skirt, and that literally went right round to like here, and then the outside went right round there, so there was no risk of flashing, which I thought was really good. The pattern asks for rouleau loops to make as bows. So the idea is that when you wrap the inside, you tie it up to the bodice, and then you wrap the other one and it ties up that way. Yeah, so that just didn't work for me at all. I physically am incapable of doing it, and I don't want to have that much stress trying to get dressed. I also didn't quite like how high the bodice was. A lot of patterns that I try is that the bodice ends up being quite short, so I do tend to have to add on because my waist is here, not here. So I end up having to sort of sometimes add about that much on so it sits on my natural waist. And there are adjustments I don't mind doing if I love the dress. It is disappointing because I love the sleeves so much, the big voluminous sleeves. It is such a beautiful dress. There wasn't enough love for that dress. One pattern that did work for me that I really didn't think would, and that is the Mabel dress by Tilly and the Buttons. What I love about it is you've got elastic on the sleeves here, elastic at the front, on the back, and then you've got shearing around the waist. My alterations when I make it, again, skirt length depends, but I do take quite a bit off all of the elastic on the top, just because I quite like it quite snug and it fits me really, really well. And yeah, it's one of the dresses that I love wearing it so much, and it's very comfortable, and everyone that's made it and everyone that's worn it, it's been really flattering on. So it's one of those like it suits everyone, which is what you want in a pattern. Another pattern that didn't work for me was the Nenina Lee Q dress. Now, I had seen loads of people making these and I thought they were beautiful. They've got that vintage style, which I really liked. So I actually made a wearable toile for this. I was on the hunt for a button-down dress, and this one spoke to me. I thought it looked really lovely, and there was lots of different options with it. I think you can have it as a skirt if you like, and you can have sort of strappy with cold shoulder if you like. So there was a lot of variation to it, which I really liked. I did kind of struggle with the instructions a little bit, particularly on the sleeve. There was like a ruche effect. I hadn't been sewing for too long, so I was quite a beginner, and I really struggled to kind of follow those instructions. And I followed the sizing. I made the size that according to the instructions, that's the size I was, but it was too tight. The arms were too tight, and it just was that the sizing wasn't right for me. And yeah, just the sleeve instruction I didn't really like too much, and then the bodice was way too short again, and yeah, I just ended up not loving the dress. A pattern that really surprised me, and I don't really remember why I made them, but I'm very glad that I did, and I'm definitely going to make them again, and that is the Sigura set by Friday Pattern Company. I got the wrong size for the top, so it ended up sort of being quite wide rather than sort of coming in a little bit at the V, but I actually really liked it. I particularly liked the trousers. The pockets were phenomenal. The whole construction of it was so easy. So I actually made these in a double gauze with like these gold specks, and I wore it to Legoland. Obviously Legoland, you've got rides, I don't want to be flashing anyone, and it was a really hot day as well, so I thought I'll wear these, and I loved it. I don't wear crop tops at all, nothing to do like my size or anything, I just personally don't like them, but I wore the full set and I felt so confident and I loved it, and it was a very easy quick make as well, which really helped. Another one that didn't work for me, and I was devastated because this is the first pattern by this company that we didn't get along, and that is the Sunny jacket by Tilly and the Buttons. I liked the idea of having a jacket, so you have the Sunny jacket and then the linings that add on, and so you have to kind of jump between the two, and I kind of struggled to get my head around that. It is clearly marked, it's just my own sort of learning needs. I found that a little bit tricky, and I went for a style that I thought would really suit me with like the prairie collar, and so it was like really nice and snuggly, would be warm for winter, because I still wear skirts and dresses in the winter. My legs are numb to the cold, but I wanted a nice jacket to keep me warm up here, and it was cropped, so it was everything I wanted it to be, but I just didn't love it. It just wasn't for me. So another one that worked and surprised me, but this going back to Tilly and the Buttons, and it is the Marley dress. I liked how it looked, I just wasn't sure if it was going to suit me. I do like this one, but I don't wear it as often as I probably should, because it is more, for me, it's more of a winter dress because of how short it is. I have to wear it with really thick tights. But again, that's just personal preference. But yeah, I really wanted to give it a go. I loved the voluminous sleeves, all the tucks, the frills, it just looked really nice. So I did jump in, and this was the toile, if you call it that. I just went straight in for it, and I remember doing all the pin tuck details, because you do it just on this piece first before you stitch it onto anything. And I remember making it and just turning around to my fiance Miles and going, this was really easy, because it looks really complicated, but it's honestly, it's really not. The instructions that Tilly writes are so easy to follow that it's really not that complicated at all, which is what I really like. And then yeah, I echoed it on the sleeves. If you've seen my first video, you'll see the reaction I got when I wore it to the Stitch Festival, and yeah, it just made me feel really good. I made my mum one, and she likes wearing that one, and I made myself a sort of red gold tartan one, and I did make it as a dress, but I didn't love it. I ended up cutting it down to the top, and it's one of my favourite now Christmas tops. I forgot how much I love this dress actually. So yeah, I'm very glad that I'm wearing it, and I'm glad that I made it, and definitely the reaction I got at the Stitch Festival really helped as well. Another pattern that didn't work for me, and I don't know where this pattern is. I know it existed because I actually made 3 of these, but I can't find a link to it or anything like that. And it's the Friday Pattern Company Westcliffe dress. I just really didn't love it. It has like a yoke detail up here, which doesn't really add anything to the pattern. There's a lot going on the bodice anyway. You don't necessarily need these extra yokey bits at the top, so for me I wasn't too keen on them. And I remember making them and it would be like, oh, I forgot to do that bit, and it felt like a chore, so already I wasn't loving it without even kind of realising it. So they were just sort of like plain sleeves, so I've made a short sleeve and then 2 sort of 3/4 length sleeves, and it looked okay, but I don't know what it was. There just wasn't kind of enough for me to kind of love it. I did try to personalise it to make it more me, and I did actually do a gathered skirt. Yeah, I definitely was chasing the idea of a wrap dress without stopping to be like, is this one I'm actually going to really like? So yeah, I wasn't too keen on the yoke. I didn't really like the belt, and I'd already clearly didn't like the sort of flat skirt because I tried to change it and made it into a gathered skirt. So again, I was already trying to change it and make it into something that it wasn't. The sleeves are short sleeve on the pattern. I extended them, but again, I felt like I had to do that to make me like the dress, and trying desperately to make a pattern into something that it wasn't. Sticking with Friday Pattern Company, the Davenport dress was one that really surprised me. There were lots of elements of this dress that I really liked, and I thought I'm going to go for it, but I did make a trial, and I believe this was the first Friday Pattern Company dress that I had tried, and I loved the instructions. I loved the way that the pockets were constructed. It has like this frill as well. The sleeves were gorgeous. There were so many elements of it that I absolutely loved. My favourite is the elasticated waist, elasticated neckline. Love it so much. I actually made one for my mum, and she doesn't like, so the waist is drawstring, but mum didn't like it. She doesn't like drawstring, so she goes, can I just have elastic waistband? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I've not, you know, is that going to be too much? It worked beautifully, and I actually extended it so it became floor length, and honestly, it looks like mum could wear it to a wedding. Taking away that drawstring just makes it look so elegant. For Christmas just gone, I made myself a tartan one with the elastic round, and I loved it. I love the base of the pattern, and everything that I've added on just really enhances that love for it. I can't wait to make another one. Someone please give me an excuse to make a really nice floor length Davenport, please. Sticking with Friday Pattern Company, I'm really sorry. It is the Adrian blouse. I was really after like a good base top to kind of like build my outfit around, because I had quite a few skirts, and I really loved the look of the top. It had these big voluminous sleeves, and it just looked gorgeous, and it was in a jersey, and I quite liked knitting with jersey. I quite like sewing with jersey at that point, so I was like, this could work out really well. But me and this top did not get on at all. This was probably my first pattern that when I made it, I didn't even try it on because I just did not like it at all. I measured it against myself to make sure I would get it right, and the instructions say it's supposed to sit just below your belly button. So my belly button sort of, and it should be at like here, and considering my skirts are sort of sit here, I thought that's quite good for tucking it in. But it ended up being way too short, and I don't know why. I did try to compensate and see what I could do to make it a little bit better, but it just didn't work. The elastic, you have like your neck thing, and then the elastic goes under, you stitch, but yeah, it just was too easy for it to overstretch. Now, I don't know why it needed that elastic, because I didn't really feel like that elastic added much to the pattern. And again, this could be because it went so horrifically wrong and overstretched. But maybe just like actually having an elastic channel might have been better, or maybe a facing, I don't know, but the construction of the neckline just did not work for me. So many people have made it and they all look really lovely, and I do have quite a lot of envy because I really wanted to love it so much. But yeah, just unfortunately this top wasn't it for me. I distinctly remember how stressful the whole making process was for me, and I don't want to go through that again. So to end on a positive, the last pattern that really surprised me was the Sew Over It Betty dress. I kept eyeing up this dress. I loved it. I loved the vintage vibe. I loved the 1950s, the circle skirt. It just, yeah, so much about it I absolutely loved. But I hadn't been quite brave enough to try this pattern yet. But because I had tried the Friday Pattern Company, like the Davenport and the Westcliffe, and they'd kind of gone okay in terms of like sizing and things, I felt braver to try this Betty dress. So I made the Daisy one, which I think I spoke about in my first video, and I just absolutely loved it. It was very easy to sew. The instructions were wonderful. I put in an invisible zip. Never thought I would have done that because I was quite I think I was still quite a beginner at that time. There's like a facing that goes all the way around on the inside. That went really well, and I was just so surprised at how easy it was to make, because I really didn't think it would be, and I didn't think the sizing would be right, and I didn't actually think the dress would suit me, because I loved the look of it, didn't necessarily mean that it was going to suit me. The dress does need adjustments, and I have actually, in the last one I made, which was a blue floral one that I wore for my mum's 60th last year, it was quite gapey around here, so I brought it in a little bit so it wasn't quite gapey, so I made a bit of an adjustment in the neck. I think I need to do the same on the bag. There was like a tiny little bit of fabric sticking out, and I thought, no, I do actually need a little bit of breathing room, and otherwise it's too fitted. But I wanted to make those adjustments because I found this beautiful dress that I loved, and I just wanted to make it right. So this is the round neck one with the, so I had to work out what the neck was. Round neck one with the sleeves add-on. I've done 2 darts at the back and then 1 dart at the front. I can't remember how many I've made, but I love them so much. And yeah, it's definitely a dress that I feel really committed to making the adjustments to, so that it's just so nice to just have the pattern there, cut it out and know it's going to fit me straight away. The biggest thing that I have learned is that if you don't love the base pattern, there is absolutely no point tweaking it. End up trying to make it into a completely different garment, which really defeats the object of you having this pattern in the first place. When it's again, when it comes down to sewing, it is all about mindset. So, you know, when you find a pattern that you love, any alterations, adjustments or embellishments, so like changes of the sleeve or adding a skirt tier or a bit of embroidery, that all feels really exciting, and it just, like, you have a beautiful pattern that you love and everything else just emphasizes that. Whereas when you've got a pattern you don't love, it feels like work because you're trying desperately to make it work for you. Oh, if I just did this I might love it. Oh, if I just did that, you know. And it's like, and that's trying too hard to make something into something that it's not meant to be. So that's why kind of the common theme that you've seen throughout this video is that why I kind of tried on the dress as it was and then went, no, I don't like this, because there are other dresses out there that had the style that I was looking for, but that worked out better for me. And that is absolutely okay. That is the whole, when wearing your own clothes and making clothes that you've made, it's all about finding your style. That's definitely the journey that I was at. Before, I don't think anyone will believe me unless you've known me for longer than I've been sewing, but I used to wear black all the time. I used to be in jeans, I used to like black clothes, used to really hide. Whereas like now, I mean, bright colour tights, bright colour cardigan. I love colour coordinating. I love the patterns that I wear. I like to stand out and I like to look good and feel good in the clothes that I'm wearing. So I'm looking for patterns that help with that. Get one pattern and I'm just keep trying to change it and make it into something that it's not. It's exhausting and I don't enjoy it. Getting those core patterns that you love and you've nailed the alterations and you've got them fitting you exactly as you want, that's when you can be like, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'm going to do that. And it makes it so much more fun. And then you learn your style that way. Whereas when I have made dresses that I don't like or that don't suit me or that I've struggled with the instructions, it's just like the love goes completely out of it. And if you don't love it, don't do it. And there isn't anything wrong in that. I don't really see enough people talking about patterns that don't work for them. And that's not a negative thing. That's just, maybe it's just not sort of come my way. But it is something we should be talking about a lot more, because it is okay to not like something. And it's okay to not like a pattern that everyone else has gone bonkers for. It just means that that style doesn't suit you, and you need to be finding your style. You're spending money and time and effort into making these handmade clothes. You need to make them so that you will love them, so that they don't end up on your trolley of doom for 5 years for you to then go, oh, I need to do something about it. So you don't spend half an hour, 45 minutes unpicking a hem to then go back or hunting the internet for fabric that you bought 5 years ago. So yeah, it's okay, and I really hope that this video has helped you with that, and that you feel a bit more confident going into trying new things. It's absolutely try new things, because they will surprise you, exactly what happened with me. And then once you've got those that you absolutely love, then you can embellish them. But if you're making a garment and you're really not loving it, and if the thought of adjusting it just feels like effort, it's not the right one for you, and it's okay to walk away from that. So I hope that video has been helpful for you. Like I say, it wasn't intended to bash any pattern companies or anything like that. It was just, I want you to know that it is okay to try patterns and then not work, and that not everything is going to work for you. And of course, things may surprise you. You may try a pattern and you might absolutely love it, but taking the thought and time is so much more beneficial, and you'll get a much better result rather than just jumping in head first without really much planning and intention behind it. Are there any patterns that have surprised you? Anything that you've tried and you've gone, oh my God, I didn't think this was going to work, this is wonderful? Any of the patterns that I've mentioned, have they worked for you? Have you got any tips if someone was going to try that pattern? Yeah, please feel free to fill my comments with things like that. I'm really interested to know, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.